this was the summer for sports.
Yes, if one thing stands out in the summer, it's the National High School Baseball Tournament.
That's right. It's the spirits of youth.
And professional baseball is starting to get interesting too.
True. Our Nippon Ham fighters are doing well this year.
Exactly. This summer I only watched baseball games.
You know that there are more important sporting events, right?
Huh?
The Summer Olympics, the Paris Olympics.
All right, I remember now. It's been a hot topic for better or worse. By the way, our city of Sapporo was bidding to host the 2030 Winter Olympics, but this time we decided not to throw in our hat for several reasons.
Oh, what a shame. I want to host the Olympics in Sapporo and have everyone excited and make our city world famous.
Sorry to interrupt your excitement. As for this upcoming Olympic events, these 5 cities, Paris, Los Angeles, Rome, Hamburg, and Budapest, bid for the 2024 Summer Olympics. But they withdrew one after another. In the end, it was decided that the event would be held in Paris, the only remaining city bidding. The number of cities bidding to host the Olympics is decreasing.
This means that now that there are fewer rivals, it's our chance. Let's have the Olympics in Japan.
Do you know why fewer countries want to host the Olympics in their own country?
Of course, I don't know. Tell me now.
Before explaining why fewer countries want to host the Olympics in their own country, let's look back at where the Olympics have been held in recent years. The Olympics is, needless to say, a sporting event that originated in ancient Greece. The Olympics started as a religious event, but in recent years, it seems that political and commercial significance has also become stronger factors in it. The first time the Olympics were held in Asia was in 1964 in Tokyo. In addition to Tokyo in 1964, Japan has hosted the Olympics in Sapporo in 1972, Nagano in 1998, and again in Tokyo in 2020, technically 2021, but it was that pandemic's fault, not the Japanese. In South America, the first time was in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in 1960. The Middle East, South Asia, and Africa have yet to host the Olympics in their areas.
Looking at it this way, the hosting locations are quite biased.
By the way, why does Piko want to hold the Olympics back in Japan again?
It's a festival for peace. It's cool, right? And above all, it's profitable.
Indeed, the 2008 Beijing Olympics and the 2012 London Olympics recorded a profit of about 15 billion yen and 4 billion yen respectively.
I thought so.
It has been found that the GDP of the host countries tend to rise as an effect. In many cases, it continues to rise not only before the event but also in the 5 years afterwards. It also contributes to increasing the number of people participating in sports.
Yes, many people started playing sports after seeing athletes' successes broadcast, especially in sports where they win medals.
In addition, it will temporarily increase employment.
It would be helpful for people who are struggling because they are out of work or seasonal workers.
It will also promote technology development and national relations overseas. For example, at this year's Paris Olympics, Paris has promoting itself as an eco-advanced country. They completely banned plastics and did not install air conditioning in the athletes' accommodations. They also used local ingredients for their food.
Yes, though there are many complaints from the athletes. The move served to highlight sustainability.
What's more, stadiums and infrastructure will be developed, meaning the Olympics can be used as an opportunity to develop a city. For example, at the 2008 Beijing Games, over $22.5 billion was spent on building roads, infrastructure, airports, and subways. In addition, over $11.2 billion was invested in environmental cleanup.
Indeed, this level of development wouldn't be down if it weren't for the Olympics. Great. Oh? What are we talking about again?
I would like to talk about why fewer cities want to host the Olympics. So far, we have been talking about the benefits.
Yeah, it would be a good idea to host the Olympics. So why has the desire to host decreased? How many countries are actually interested?
Take a look at this graph. In the 2004 Athens Olympics, there were 11 bidders. But this time, in 2024, only 2 cities have applied. By the way, Los Angeles, another city that applied at the time, was chosen as a host city 4 years later.
It's very so few. By the way, where is the next host city?
Brisbane has been chosen to host the Olympics in 2032. There were no other cities that applied, and this was the only city that had applied.
Only one? This means that there may soon be no cities that will apply to host the Olympics.
So let's think about why the number of cities bidding to host the Olympics are decreasing. 1. The large financial burden. The first reason is that the financial burden is too heavy. How can we afford to spend tens of billions of dollars for a mere 2-week event? In addition to direct expenses, it also causes huge indirect expenses, such as maintaining public order and developing transportation infrastructures. For example, $51 billion was poured in the 2040 Winter Olympics in Sochi, Russia.
$51 billion? How many zeros do you need?
Every Olympics held since 1960 has exceeded its budget.
There is probably also a desire to look cool by hosting the Olympics.
Some people seem to feel that it is more of a festival to demonstrate national power than a festival of peace. Even the bid process costs money. For example, the bid appeal campaign for the Tokyo Olympics cost $150 million, and the bidding itself $75 million. By the way, the 2020 Tokyo Olympics were postponed for a year due to the pandemic, adding 2.8 billion yen to the total expenditure. On the top of that, the event was held without spectators, resulting in a huge economic loss. The loss of 90 billion yen in ticket sales and the loss of tourism from overseas was a huge blow to our economy. And some of these expenses are sometimes covered by taxes. For example, the 2011 London Olympics cost $40.6 billion, of which $4.4 billion was covered by taxes.
I don't want the burden on residents and citizens to be so great.
The second reason is the burden of facility maintenance cost. For example, the 7 facilities newly built for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, including the National Stadium, Sea Forest Waterway, and the Tokyo Aquatics Center, cost 5 billion yen per year just for maintenance.
They are called barren legacies.
In addition, it seems that the Sydney Stadium cost $30 million per year for maintenance, and the Bird's Nest Arena in Beijing cost $10 million per year for maintenance.
I was just thinking, but isn't the reason why there were no stadiums before the Olympics in the first place was because the people in the area didn't need those facilities?
Oh, Piko, you are the smartest. Some experts have pointed that out. It is important that local people would continue to need them even after the Olympics are over.
Well, it might be difficult if the population of Japan was increasing, but in an era of decreasing birth rate, like now, it may be difficult to make good use of the facilities. Of course, if the facilities continue to be used after the Olympics, the cost would have been more worth it.
3. The IOC's bad reputation. At the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, the overwhelming vested interest of the IOC, or International Olympic Committee, and the unequal contrast that imposed a heavy burden on the host country were the subject of great criticism.
The words "rip-off baron" and "Olympic aristocrat" became a buzzword during that time. Excessive entertainment surrounding the bidding process was a problem.
Yes, for example, a major scandal was uncovered during the 2002 Salt Lake City Winter Olympics bidding process. It was discovered that IOC members had received various benefits, including assistance for their own medical expenses, accommodation, and shopping costs, and assistance for their relatives and job hunting assurance. 10 members resigned or were subject to disciplinary actions. At the Seoul Olympics, some members were found to have accepted bribes. The 2020 Tokyo Olympics was also shamefully hit with a series of corruption scandals surrounding sponsorship contracts. Incidentally, a survey conducted at the time showed that nearly 80% of people were concerned about the spread of infection within the country due to the Olympics.
A state of emergency had also been declared at the time.
Under those circumstances, many people distrusted the organization's attitude of prioritizing the Olympics and neglecting the host cities and the athletes' safety. Even if the host city wanted to cancel the Olympics, it did not have the power to actually decide whether to hold the games or not. That decision was left to the IOC.
Are host cities in a weaker position compared to the IOC, even though they bear such a heavy burden?
I think the fact that this nature has become recognized in Japan and around the world is leading to a decreasing in the number of candidate cities.
If they do not have the support of the host country or city, they will not be able to bid.
As mentioned earlier, Sapporo City, which was aiming to host the 2030 Winter Olympics, gave up due to the opposition from local residents. According to a poll conducted by a local newspaper, 2/3 of Sapporo residents have a negative reaction to the bidding. In fact, Sapporo is expected to be a leading candidate to host the Olympics.
Is that so? Why?
Because Sapporo is expected to have a significant snowfall amidst the global warming changes. For example, there was a lack of snow in Vancouver for the 2010 Winter Olympics, which put skiing, moguls, snowmobiling, and other sports in jeopardy. Sochi in 2014 also suffered from a lack of snow in the winter, and it is said that 90% of the snow was artificially made. There was also a lack of snow for the 2022 Beijing Olympics.
I remember. That year, it snowed so much in Sapporo that the traffic was paralyzed. I wanted to share the snow with Beijing.
It is said that the world host city candidates will be exposed to a 2 to 4.4 degree temperature rise by the end of this century. If the temperature rise continue, it is said that out of the 21 previous host cities, Sapporo in Japan will be the only one that can safely and realistically host the Winter Olympics.
Wow, it's such a serious station.
Needless to say, it cannot attract the Olympics just because it snowed a lot here. There are not many cities that meet the conditions. Public safety is good enough to host the Olympics. The city's population is large enough, and there are no programs with transportation or facilities. Moreover, Sapporo has a track record of hosting the Olympics in the past and has the know-how. However, if we do not get the support of the local people, it will be impossible to host the Olympics no matter how good the conditions are.
I'm wavering. At first, I said that I wanted to host the Olympics in Japan, but now I'm not so sure. What do you think about it now?
I have mixed feelings too. I can't say I am for or against the bid. What I hate most is the negative atmosphere that occurs when we bring out the topic of hosting the Olympics. It is a celebration of peace, so it is contradictory for the local people to be at odds about it.
I feel weighted down by this talk.
Well, nothing has been decided yet, so there is no need to worry. Let's watch a baseball game while eating some snacks to improve our mood.
That sounds good.